Good morning, happy Friday, and welcome back to the NOFO Live Show, where I, Sunita, along with my co-host Tracy, we hop on every Friday and talk about everything North Fork. Today we are featuring a really yummy, delicious restaurant called Main Road Biscuit Company, and we will be joined by owner Marissa Drago. They serve breakfast, lunch, and dinner as well, but mostly known for their brunches and their honey and their biscuits and their honey butter. So we'll be talking about all the delicious stuff they do. But first, the weather report. Yesterday was the winter solstice, so technically the first day of winter, but in my mind, a day to celebrate because we are barreling towards summer. Sunsets have been so early as they are in winter, about 4:20. And beginning the last couple of days, it started to go back towards 8 p.m. sunset, so we are already at 4:25. For one, I'm looking forward to that because hopefully that also means more warmth because it is so cold. I think today is 29. Good morning, Marissa. How are you?
Good morning. Good. How are you?
I'm good. Do you like the cold weather? Is it your thing?
No, I don't like it.
Okay. I mean, it looks nice with the sun, but it's cold.
Beautiful today. Can't complain. It's not that cold for December. I mean,
it depends if you're inside or outside. Yes, it's not windy and blistering.
I'll take that bad.
Well, so fun running into you yesterday. That was really
times. I mean, you know,
I love it when I run into people outside of this little square, right? Because I see a lot of people on Instagram, and I think a lot of people see me. But it's so fun when you actually run into the person, you know.
Yeah.
And of course, you know, we ended up running into each other at Barrow. Shout out to them. Really delicious food. I did try their, because I always get the curry bowl, but I did try their vegan burger, the mushroom, and it was so good. It was so good.
Yeah, their food is really nice.
Yes. Well, I'm wondering where Tracy is. I hope she remembers it's a Friday because I know it's a holiday season and everybody's crazy busy. But why don't we just dive into it and hopefully she'll just pop on. Introduce yourself as to who you are, and I really want to hear of how you started Main Road Biscuit.
Okay. I'm Marissa Drago. My restaurant is Main Road Biscuit Co. in Jamesport. We're right on the main road, right over there by the Valero gas station, across the street from Grana, right by Junda's.
Is that the little strip of Main Street, if you will, right?
This environment, yeah, I'm sorry. Main Road Biscuit Co. was really just born out of a sheer love of comfort food. That's really us at the heart of us. My path in food sort of ultimately led to North Fork, but I do have sort of a healthy history of food service in New York City. So I started out in catering. It took me a little while to find my path. Actually, way back in the day, I was in software, if you could believe that. Wow. I did that. I was in software for about 6 years in Manhattan. I had a very excellent boss. I knew I wanted to explore the things. I knew that wasn't going to be my life career. I sort of kind of just was looking for a job after college, and it just kind of steamrolled into this much bigger thing. I was traveling a lot, and I just kind of got wrapped up in that. But I kind of really wanted to do something else, and I knew I wanted to do something in the food business.
So what brought on that love? Because I mean, you know, a software tech job can pay for your life, and you can, you know, enjoy your life, or it's a comfortable job. So what drew you to the food industry? Because that's not an easy industry to sort of.
And I don't know if I knew all of that. 25 years old or whatever I was, but yeah, I just knew it was just inside me. I just knew that was where I was going to end up. I will tell you that one of the biggest inspirations I had was my very first, and I think it was her very first cookbook, was Ina Garten's Barefoot Contessa cookbook. And I was just obsessed with that book. I was reading it cover to cover like it was the best novel I ever read. I made all the recipes. In fact, at our engagement party, it was all those recipes. We made them ourselves. Yeah, I mean, it really just drew me to that lifestyle. I started looking more into the area really where I came from. You know, I'm from Long Island. I come out to the East End many, many times with my family. My boyfriend, now husband, was from out this way. So we spent quite a bit of time out here. That book as an inspiration, I just always talked about it. I marked it up, all kinds of things. And honestly, truthfully, it was a combination of two things. It was, you know, this feeling inside of me knowing I really wasn't doing what was true to me. And I wanted to do something else for my life before I had children, before I sort of got settled. And it was my husband who said, well, why don't you just approach your boss and ask him if he'll give you, you know, time off, if you could take a hiatus.
Wow.
Like, what?
First of all, how wonderful to just have that support at home to sort of take the leap, right? Because for anybody who wants to do their own thing, it's a conversation of, wait, do I do it parallel? Do I keep doing what I'm doing and then try to do this? Which there's no good answer, right? There's no good way to jump into your own business. But so you had the support, you jumped in and you started with catering.
Well, I didn't start with catering. I actually worked at Barefoot Contessa.
Oh my God, that is so cool.
Walked in the door and I filled out an application and they sort of looked at the application like, are you have a good job? I mean, what? I don't understand. And I just said, no, I need to take a break and I want to really see what you guys do. I'll do anything. They put me behind the cappuccino bar, behind the little bakery that they had there. I could go through the list of celebrities that I met that summer. It was very exciting. And I made some really nice connections and I just knew I was never going back to software after that. It was a lot of fun, but it was also such a huge learning experience. And I also learned the most important lesson of all, which was that the food business is not easy.
Okay, so you got that early on. Okay.
Yeah, I caught that quickly, but I did take notes. I took them on little to-go bags. I wrote down when I saw deliveries come in and I would write down who the vendors were. I definitely had the vision that someday that would be me. And I wanted to do that. I really wanted to do a market. They kind of had asked me if I would stay on. I knew I was moving back to the city though. And fun fact, that was right before Something's Gotta Give was filmed there.
Oh,
just missed. I could have been an extra. Yeah, that could have been my Hollywood debut. I knew that wasn't good.
How did you get from city to comfort food on the East End?
So I went back to the city. I did approach my amazing boss who I'd worked for 6 years, and he was just the best to me. And I just kind of told him I'm not coming back. I immediately applied to Dean and DeLuca. I just knew I just need to be in. I just got to jump right in. That's just the way that I am. I don't really do anything halfway. I don't really know how. And I, again, worked in pastry at Dean and DeLuca. So I really got to know the business there. I mean, that was the location in Soho. That was their headquarters. And there was so much to learn from ordering. And it was an historic building maintenance. Who knew many moons later I'd actually have to be involved in all of that.
Well, yeah, well, I was going to say, what great training for you for what's about to come next. And it's so interesting because anytime somebody's successful at something, it's a culmination of everything else they've done up until that point. So your journey sounds like that's Main Road Biscuit Company is as successful as it is because of all these things you've done before.
Yeah, it was quite a windy road. I did go to culinary school in Manhattan, and then I did spend some time at Balducci's, and then I got into catering. I kind of got into catering before that. I worked at a place called Chelsea Catering, which was the catering arm of Friedman's Lunch in Chelsea Market.
Okay.
So that was my first real, like I kind of started feeling I wanted to do events. I wanted to be involved in that kind of world. And that was just a very good fit for me. I did that for a long time, probably about 10 years. And so I was in the Chelsea Market for a long time. Balducci's also in Chelsea. I did their catering and I traveled a lot for them. I was a a district manager, and then ultimately landed at Bouchon Bakery in Rockefeller Center. I did that for about a year and a half.
Oh, you're making me drool with all the places you've been at and all the foods you've been involved in.
Let's put it that way. There was no shortage of macaroons in my life. But that was all very exciting, and I did great events. I did a lot of corporate catering. I realized ultimately that's really what I enjoyed the most. I really liked corporate catering. I sort of liked, you know, holding hands with someone, but the nice thing about corporate catering is you building that relationship with an admin or with their event planner or whoever it is you're working on that side with. And you really building that relationship as opposed to the social side of catering, which is, you know, you're doing someone's wedding. It's just kind of, you may never talk to that person again.
Right.
And for me, you know, it needed to be that kind of ongoing commitment, and certainly had very regular customers there who followed me wherever I went. Ultimately, my last position in the city was with Financier Cafe. They had multiple locations throughout the city, and that was a wonderful experience working for a French company, and they were trying to do various things at that company, turn it over, get some new blood in there, and I really enjoyed that. But ultimately really we moved to the North Fork for my husband's job.
Oh,
we had
interesting.
thinks it's like she had this dream to open this restaurant on the North Fork, and while that kind of thing, it wasn't necessarily a restaurant, but while that kind of thought was always in the back of my mind, I always knew I'd be doing
You knew it was going to be food something, just not what form it would take it. But it's interesting because sometimes when you talk to chefs, there's two different parallel lives, right? Like a restaurant where you're creating a menu and then you're kind of creating signature dishes and what you create all the time, versus when you were talking about weddings where the menu's ever changing, constantly different, and you get a chance to, you know, sort of experiment with a wider range of things. I really want to know how you ended up with the biscuits that are so delicious. How did you end up with that's what I'm doing?
So it's funny. Yeah, we had been weekending out on the North Fork for quite a long time. And we were trying to decide, my son was going into school, what are we going to do? I actually commuted for 3.5 years. So my last 2 jobs in the city, I commuted back and forth. I finally said, you know, when my husband starts his job, we knew he'd be working in Riverhead. He's an attorney. When he starts, I'm not doing this anymore. You know, I really want to find that thing that I want to do. And I also wanted to, and I'm still adamant about, I am going to be the person who's raising my child. I'm not getting a nanny. I don't really want to leave him with grandma. I don't want to do that unless I really have to do that. And so we came upon this idea of what is missing on the North Fork. What do we miss the most about living in Brooklyn and you know, that food scene there, and all those years in Manhattan and everything I was doing there? What do we miss the most on the North Fork, and how can we contribute to the community here? And we really felt like we need a brunch place. Okay. There really was nothing between Love Lane Kitchen and Riverhead at the time.
And what year was this?
Well, the idea came about probably 2015.
Okay.
We didn't open, or 2014. We didn't really open till the end of 2016. But yeah, we started formulating this idea, and my husband actually happens to be, I mean, he's the baking side. I'm savory. I don't do, you know, I grew up in a household of lots of food, always food, but my husband grew up, his grandmother was really quite a baker. Thank you, Jean. Yeah, she really gave him that gene, no pun intended. But started baking just for fun in our apartment and kind of carried that around out here. And we had a friend who was a chef, and he tasted our biscuits. We just loved making them on the weekends. They were just something simple. We always had the ingredients. You don't have a lot of pantry space in an apartment. We always had the ingredients around, and he said, these are so delicious, you could sell these. And we were like, oh, okay, well, that's a nice idea. We could sell biscuits. And I'm thinking, maybe I'll just do a little, you know, little pop-up thing, little Etsy thing or something like that.
Yeah, because when you're starting out, like as you were talking about as a mother, and you also want to do the scalability of how much do you really want to do, because a restaurant is a different commitment to, you know, selling one dish or not a dish, but biscuits or doing pop-ups. It's a much smaller commitment.
a huge commitment doing it yourself. When I did go to culinary school, my project was a business plan. So I was versed in how to create that idea, how to make an idea really into a business. So I was taught well at ICE. So, and my husband is just naturally very business minded, always minding the money, that's for sure, but very creative and very business minded. So we really came up with this concept. I mean, we drew pictures and everything. Yeah, it's just, and again, that thing, and I still feel this way to this day, that book, that cookbook is always in the back of my mind. I wanted things that were fresh. I wanted to go to the farm stands and get that food myself. You know, that's when you have a busy restaurant. I don't know how realistic that is, but I do it when I can. And
yeah, but being able to incorporate even parts of it does show, you know, because, and I think it's so special based on where we live. I don't know if this exact idea can be so easily replicated in other places, but here, there are farms that'll swing by or drop off seasonal produce to you. I think it's so great that we have these connections.
Yeah, it's great. And you know, that took many years to garner those relationships, but I always knew what I loved. I love this farm stand, I love this farmer, I love what this fishery does, you know, I trust this person. It's all about that, and you have access to all of it out here, which is such a blessing. And it's really, it's so much fun. You're just so close to the earth, you're so close to nature. It's what my child sees us doing, me doing. And it's really an all-around wonderful thing. And I don't want to, by any stretch, say this is all me. No way at all. Again, my husband was very involved in the beginning of the business. He actually would come in before his lawyer job and, and then go to his firm.
Well, I love that you're talking about the realities of what it takes to run a business, and it does take a village, you know. So that's great. So how did you go from, okay, we'll make biscuits, to we have a full-fledged breakfast, lunch, and dinner menu and a full restaurant, if you will?
I never really wanted to be a bakery. And it's funny because of the name, and it's nice that I'm doing this today with you, Sunita, Tracy, if you pop on. But yeah, I mean, it's almost a misnomer, because people think we just do biscuits, or we're only a bakery. I never wanted to be that. But that really was something that I did miss very much when I lived in Williamsburg. We used to go down to this restaurant called Diner, or Marlowe. I think it was their offshoot. It was Marlowe and Sons. And we would get on the weekends a hot biscuit with homemade jam and salty butter on it. And I was just like, what am I going to do when we move out here full time? I don't know what I'm going to do. You know, it was a real dilemma. So we started making them, and that's how, you know, that was that's sort of the core, and everything else was built around it. I missed so many things, whether it was things from my childhood, where I grew up, things my grandmother used to make. You know, BLTs were really part of my childhood. My mom loved a BLT, and we would get them with egg creams whenever we would go to the city or to Queens or wherever we were in my childhood. There was just a lot of cooking going on in my upbringing, and, you know, I just wanted that feeling of comfort food. For me, all those things just kind of very naturally converged. We came up with a menu very easily.
So let's talk about the menu a little bit. For those that haven't been for lunch and dinner, obviously for brunch, you've got the biscuits and other brunch foods, but tell us some signature lunch dishes, and what could someone get for dinner when they came in?
Sure. So we do have, well, we don't do dinner, that we used to.
Okay.
When COVID hit, we decided we can really only do dinner, or we can be open more. And so we had never been 7 days before that. And during COVID, we were open 7 days, even though we were, you know, letting people inside of the restaurant. We decided we have to let go of the dinner and just focus on what we do, and actually really what the community needs. So that's what happened.
You were kind of doing pop-up dinners, if you will, before, right? Or was it ever? Okay. So you're not doing pop-up dinners anymore. Okay.
We're doing Friday, Saturday. So we really didn't feel like that was our core business, and we really didn't feel a need for that. There's plenty of places right around us that do a wonderful job at dinner. Not to say we'll never do it again. But for now, we're really focused on our core business, which is brunch.
So what's on a brunch lunch menu?
So back to the menu. So some of the things that are in our menu, we have two types of pancakes. One would be the grandma pancakes, which are a thinner crepe style pancakes, which are actually my husband's Belgian grandmother's recipe. She ate her as a child, and whenever we would see her at my husband's parents' house, she always made us these crepey pancake things. I said, Brian, you have to get the recipe for this. You know, it's literally 5 ingredients. It's the method that makes it special. But we do ours with all different toppings. And, you know, that's kind of a special, unique thing that you can get at our restaurant. Has to be finished with salted butter.
Oh,
key. And then we also do a more traditional style pancake. But ours are a soaked oat pancake, and we do a whole buttermilk soak overnight, and we formulate this recipe into a really beautiful, fluffy, sweet, delicious pancake. So we have those options. We do eggs many different ways. We do omelets. We do a scramble. We actually do a North Fork oyster fry. We use very sweet, delicious pickled oysters. We fry them. We put them into sort of an omelet kind of situation, served with a biscuit, and highly recommend our chive butter for that one.
I want to talk about the butters and the jams that come with the biscuit, so let's circle back to that.
Our core butters and jams, the ones we always have, it's a lemon orange marmalade, which is a nod to Loaves and Fishes, to Anna Pump. Again, another book, I just fell in love with her traditional Scandinavian cooking, started making those recipes, and then the next thing you know, that was just my own. You know, that jam became mine. I made that jam for years. I don't even know what the original recipe was, but I know what we need to do to make it for Main Road Biscuit Co, but it was certainly a nod to her, and I have acknowledged that. And then we always have a chive butter. We always do we're always doing a savory butter, but it just kind of morphed to the chive butter was always the popular one. So that's the one we always have. We always have the honey butter, which is by far.
Speaking of popular, I have some in my freezer right now. Only because there was quite a bit, and I just chucked the whole thing.
Freeze it, just so you know. It does last a very long time in the refrigerator, and we do some pint, just so you know that too.
Wait, say it again. You cut out a little bit.
What's that? Oh, we do sell it by the pint.
Oh,
I was saying. Yeah, yeah.
Oh.
Never wasted, always delicious. And we also do a maple butter that we use for the pancakes. If you ask us, we certainly can provide you with a larger quantity of that also. Those are the ones we always have. In the summertime, when strawberries are good, when blueberries are good, I might even in the wintertime do a Nutella butter. We've done that many times. I'll find inspiration from whatever is around us. We've done cranberry butter fairly recently. We did that. We did a cranberry jam, cranberry vanilla. I'll do peach vanilla when Wickham's is overflowing with, you know, seconds for peaches. She'll bring me.
Talking about all these butters, all I'm thinking is that this sounds like a perfect Christmas morning breakfast, you know, like a big tray of biscuits and a whole sampling. And you do sell them as a box with samplings of the different butters, correct?
So for our catering side of the business, we do keep it very simple, but we do have some amazing offerings, and we do what we call catering size biscuits, which are, you know, probably about 2.5 inch biscuit. We sell platters of 24 with one of the butters or jams. 99.9% of the time, people say they want the honey butter, and so give it. But that platter does come with a butter or a jam, and yeah, we do all kinds of things for that for the catering. But we also do a breakfast platter, which would have our cornmeal lemon scone in a mini size on it with our fresh lemon glaze. That one also has a mini buttermilk oat muffin. We turn the pancake batter into a muffin recipe. And that's a really delicious muffin. We do those mini size, and you also do get mini biscuits. So that's a combo platter, and that's a very popular one too. We do a lot of day after the wedding. We do a lot of morning of the wedding, the bridal party getting ready. And then, you know, sometimes when people are going out of town the next day, they might make a large reservation at a restaurant. But if they want to do something in their home, we'll do those kinds of platters.
That's awesome. And now I want to touch upon the savory side. You do have salads for those who would not want the bakery part of it, right? I just want to make sure that people understand that there's savory food as well.
Yeah, the lunch menu is pretty expansive, and honestly, truthfully, yeah, if I'm being honest here, it is my favorite. I love our savory food. Our grilled chicken club with our green goddess. First of all of our dips, dressings, spreads, everything is made in-house. So we have to be very careful when we hire in the kitchen that they are aware of that. We're you on your plate is made by human hands in our kitchen.
Wait, someone's talking about an oyster omelet? The oyster omelet with a salad? I mean, yeah. I'm only like, I can't get past the biscuit, so it's hard to kind of go to the rest of the menu. So I haven't sampled a lot of the other menu, but this oyster omelet sounds delish.
And I do thank, Matt over at Peconic Gold Oysters. He works so hard and brings us a really delicious product. And someone else is asking about the quinoa salad. It is so good. We also do it for catering. I have one law firm that really, we tell them we have so many things we can give you every month, the same exact menu. For like 12 people, it's the same menu, but it's always the quinoa salad, which is fresh spinach, pickled cabbage, crispy quinoa, and lentils.
Oh my God, that sounds so good. Okay, next time if you see me walk in there, don't let me look at the menu and just remind me that that's what I want to eat is the quinoa salad.
Vinaigrette. We make that one with a beautiful citrus vinaigrette, which has a little orange, a little lemon in it. And that one I love with a piece of roasted salmon. We get our, and honestly, it's a high quality product. It's so good. And I love it with that. And then I love our chopped salad. Our chopped salad is a nod to traveling in California, a place that we ate up near the, it was near San Luis Obispo. And it was a chopped salad. It had everything in it. And I was thinking, why don't we have a salad like this? I love this. And it was the sweet and the salty. It was the dates and the feta. And so I just went home and said, this is our new salad. Get it on here. It wasn't really a direct copy, but it was pretty close. But it has crunchy almonds, chopped up dates, really finely chopped carrots. It has, and the feta, which just makes
the combination of the sweet and the salty. It sounds great. Everybody's talking about the grilled shrimp. Like I said, you end up enjoying what you enjoy at the restaurant, and then half the time I don't even look at the rest of the menu. But I'm so glad that everybody's throwing out so many different options for next visit.
Yeah. One thing we try to do when you walk in the door, and being open 7 years now, end of October was our 7th anniversary.
Oh, congratulations.
When you walk in the door, we really do try to gauge is that, we have our regulars, of course, is that someone, who's local or maybe even just from Long Island who would, we'll ask them more questions, need some help with the menu. And almost inevitably, every time they'll say, I really don't even know what to choose. What's your most popular item? What do you love the most? And we'll be honest with them, and we'll tell them what's a good share. If you want to have that extra thing, you could do a single pancake and share that, and then get 2 savory items. You can do that. But when they're walking out the door, they always say the same thing. We will be back. There are so many more things you want to try on your menu. So it's a blessing and a curse. It's hard to do. It's hard to keep it up, especially this time of year. There's not as many people out on the North Fork right now. In the summer, we're just moving. In the fall, same thing. We're just producing constantly. I would almost say around the clock. We're there very early in the morning.
It's a tough business. Yes.
Yeah, it's tougher to gauge out here, I would say, in the wintertime. But
so tell us for everybody that's drooling and obviously now wants to come. Tell us your winter hours, and especially what's in this coming week.
Yeah, we try not to change too much, generally speaking, in the winter. We close on Wednesdays now. That'll last probably through that Mother's Day week, like that week after.
So you open 6 days, breakfast and lunch, closed Wednesday. Got it.
Okay. So that's, if you're craving an omelet at, 2:30 in the afternoon, that's fine. You can also order online. It's really very easy. We use a system online. Just go to our website, mainroadbiscuitco.com. Go to the top where it says order here. And then you put your information, you can put it in once and it will save it for you. It can save your orders. It can save your credit card. Super, super easy. Just give us 25 minutes and you can cure that craving very easily. It is pickup only. We don't deliver right now. But it doesn't really seem to affect too many things. But yeah, we make it kind of easy. Our hours are, generally speaking, weekdays 9 to 3, weekends 8 to 4. On Fridays, we do open at 8.
Awesome. Thank you. Thank you. Marissa, I could talk to you for another half hour. I don't know what happened to Tracy. I'm assuming I hope everything's okay with her and Tilly, or she's just lost in the holiday chaos. So I'm going to try to do a rapid fire NOFO Live 5. If you're ready for that, let's go. I mean, Tracy does it, so I'm going to have to try to rally and remember all the questions. Are you a brewery or winery person, or where would we see you enjoying it? Winery. Okay.
Winery.
Do you have any local favorite wines that you enjoy?
I actually do. I'm a white wine person. I know it's an odd thing out here. I love that Life Force from McCary. You can definitely find me drinking that really in any restaurant they sell it at. I almost always order that.
Yeah, or sitting between the wines and drinking it at McCary. I mean, that's such a gorgeous spot there. which we've done a couple of times together, yes.
But I did ask our server for it, so came through. So that was great. And shout out to Gabriella for saying that we could drink whatever we wanted. But yeah, and then I'm really loving right now something very different that I didn't really know about, but it's called Coquillage, and it's from Quarry Creek. I've been first Friday night at Quarry Creek serving whatever it is we're serving. We were doing chicken and waffles. But because we were doing that, and also through our work together at Sunita for Slow Food, I have done a new tasting at Quarry Creek. I hadn't done a tasting with them in quite some time. And the coquillage it is actually, there are shells steeped in the wine. And that freshness of the ocean comes through. I'm loving that right now. So I have a bottle in my fridge, and I'm really excited to drink that again.
So other than the obvious, if we were going to go out to either breakfast, lunch, or dinner, where would we go and what would we eat?
Well, Main Road Biscuit Co.
I said, other than the obvious.
We'll start with breakfast there. I would say, yeah, I mean, right now we are really loving Little Fish. I love what Arden's doing over there. He's just got his finger on the pulse of what is needed here on the North Fork, and it's just, it kind of, it feels like us almost. We kind of ride that line. It's a nice place, but it's very accessible. Price point is, you could eat there often. And for
creative menu. I love how Arden and gosh, I forget his name now. I can't remember the chef's name. He is putting his own spin on the menu and creating dishes, like instead of a chicken tikka masala, he's making a monkfish masala, which is so creative. I love it.
Yeah, we spent a lot of time in Montauk, and we go to Gig Shack all the time. So we were so excited, but I actually think than Gig Shack. No offense, Gig Shack, but it's fun.
Well, everything's better on the North Fork. Everybody knows that. Okay. Sunrise, sunset, what do you typically end up catching?
Sunset all the way, and we love Breakwater Beach for that. It's peaceful, it's beautiful. You feel like you're in Montauk.
That's in Mattituck, right?
Yeah, that's in Mattituck, right on off of Breakwater Road. And it's just wonderful. I mean, we love that beach. It's a rocky beach, but really nice to walk on. We have a new puppy. I can't wait to take him for walks on that beach. And yeah, we love the sunset there. You can see as far as the eye can see. You feel special.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Okay, wait. Remind me. What's the? I think there's another question.
I don't remember now. I watched those in preparation for this.
I had it a minute ago, but I was so listening to your answer, and I was like, it's gone. Anyway, we usually wrap up the show. Oh no, I just remembered. I did remember. You mentioned farm stands and using local produce. Is there something that you hit up for your own home cooking close by that you like?
hit up Wowak Farms almost every day in the summer. I think she's just sick of seeing me. And I do bring the restaurant too. If she has, we do fried green tomatoes. If she has a lot of them, I'll just take a whole bucket of them or a couple buckets of them. I love what they do over there. Food tastes what food is supposed to taste like. I've been shopping there pretty much even when we came out here on the weekends. I've been going to that farm stand. I love it. I love Golden Earthworm. I think they do a fantastic job. I was a CSA member for a while. I'm a family of 3, so it was a little bit much for us, and we kind of brought, I was bringing a lot of the stuff to the restaurant, and I'm like, this is kind of pricey for me to be doing this, so I'm going to try to share that CSA this year with someone if that's possible, but beautiful, beautiful food, and I bought stuff there. She still had gorgeous kale, carrots, fennel. She had great stuff right before Thanksgiving.
Hi. Good morning, Tilly. Oh my God, what a special treat.
Yeah.
Well, so I forgot it was Friday.
Of course you did.
Okay.
So we're in pajamas and we've been playing.
Well, I'm so glad you hopped on so you can ask the last question the way we wrap up the show. Go, Tracy.
You're getting us in rare form.
Hi, Tilly. That's so cool. That was so cool you joined us.
I literally, I took the last 2 days off and I completely forgot. It was Friday. Okay, Tilly.
It's all good.
She's saying bro because our dog just walked in the room and she calls him his brother. I'm so sorry. So why don't you wrap up our show and wrap up our year by telling us what you love about being on the North Fork?
It's a great lifestyle, honestly. One of the reasons we moved out here was for the lifestyle. I am just, every time elementary school, I mean, where can you do things like that? You know, walking the beach with, with friends. Do you want to meet at a winery today? We have this whole mom's group thing, 11 o'clock on a Thursday, you want to meet for a quick drink when, McCall's opens, so it's the lifestyle. It's almost unbelievable, honestly. I feel blessed that everyone out here who owns a business out here takes it as seriously as they do and really contributes to the sustainability on the North Fork. It's unbelievable. It's only grown. It's only going to keep growing and keep getting better. It's just a very exciting place to be. When we opened the restaurant 7 years ago, I would venture to say there really wasn't that much going on. There wasn't that much opening. I mean, places were chomping at the bit for the date that we were opening and what are you doing? And honestly, since then, it just has steamrolled and it's just such an exciting time out here. It's all good things. There's nothing where you say, that place isn't so great, or I don't know. It's all good, high quality. Every place is better than the last one that opened. You know what I'm saying? And that's just a very exciting place to be. I love the community I am directly in of these food people. We all commiserate and tell our stories to each other and have a good laugh. And I love it. Not many places you could be that open and honest. You always have to put on a face. You're the best. Things great. Your business is great. It's nice to have that honest camaraderie. Even when we do the web group, Snita, it's really important. All those, female business leaders just kind of commiserating and really learning from each other, which is the most important thing.
Supporting and encouraging each other. The amount of collaborations that come out of the North Fork businesses is incredible. I know we keep talking about it all the time, but it is special, and we should celebrate the way businesses are run on the North Fork.
Yeah. We actually have our baked goods now at Lumber and Salt. But Brooke was very, very sensitive to whether this would be a conflict of interest. And, yeah, sure. But, no, there's room for everyone. And I'm thinking about our guests and, if they're living further out east, that's a lot more convenient for them to get what they get their cornmeal lemon scone, which has its own following, and to get our, toffee oat cookie. All these things have a following. And how wonderful that, if you live in Greenport, that's closer to you now. You don't have to come all the way to Jamesport if you don't want to. And trust me, it's not hurting my business at all. And I had to, really tell her, don't worry about it. It's fine. I'm glad to be at your business where you care so much about what you're doing and you trying to improve and make it better and make it something special for people here on work to enjoy. I'm more so it's like that. I feel like that. I'm quite friendly with Carolyn at Lovely in Kitchen. There's no animosity. She was like, please open. I can't serve everybody all the time, So, and gave us great advice before we opened. So
yeah, speaking of Carolyn, I want to give a shout out to her because obviously she's running her business at Lovely in Kitchen, but here she is hosting a podcast, talking about all businesses and how they're run and what helps each business succeed and showcasing that. I mean, it's awesome.
But that's how it is out here. We're all like that. In fact, I was trying to guide Brooke because she's never sold food before, and I said, well, let's start with this. Let's do this. You're going to put this way, put this out this way. This won't last. Don't bother with the biscuits. They won't last. So, it was a lot of things like that. And I told her, ask me anything. I've done it, pretty much done it all now between my former life and my current life. There's really nothing I don't think I haven't seen in this business. So don't be scared by anything. Don't be frightened and just ask. And I would say that to any new business opening, just if you want to pick my brain, I'm here. I'm very honest. I'm an honest person. I'm not going to sugarcoat it. But yeah, it's as difficult as it is so very rewarding, and I wouldn't have done it any other way.
Thank you, Marissa. This has been such a wonderful conversation. I mean, we're way past our half hour, but like I said, I could keep talking to you for a long time to come. Tracy, I'm so glad that you found your way here. We will be cracking up and laughing about this for some time.
I'm so glad that this will live on forever.
Well, I just any holiday messages you want to throw out there, Tracy?
Yeah, I wish you all that you forget what day it is because it feels wonderful over this holiday season.
Honestly, I'm really happy that you missed it because you work so hard, never really have a time to take a breather. And I know this is your couple of days of breathing. So I'm genuinely happy for you that you had a chance to breathe.
Thank you.
Thank you, Marissa. I will see you there soon for that quinoa salad and maybe perhaps the chopped salad with salmon. And I know Tracy will be there for the chicken and waffles. So happy Friday. Merry Christmas, everybody. And we'll see you next week.
I really appreciate it.
Happy holidays, everyone.
Bye.